NBC Sports presents a national championship conducted by the United States Golf Association. Today, it's final round coverage of the U.S. Women's Open.
Championship Sunday in the Sandhills of North Carolina. Storied Pinehurst, where golf is more than just a game, it's a state of mind. And a part of this marvelous tradition, the Pine Needles Lodge and Golf Club. A treasured piece of paradise created by the legendary Donald Ross nearly 70 years ago. And like the 6 other masterpieces he's laid out in the area, Pine Needles reflects his unique, ingenious design. And the weather has matched the scenery for this 51st Open. A few more clouds have rolled into the area today, but still plenty of that famed Carolina blue sky with very pleasant temperatures in the low 80s. The championship featured an unlikely co-leader after the first round on Thursday. 33-year-old Kim Williams birdied 18 for an opening round 69. She'd make just her second Open cut in 10 appearances. Hours later, 3-time Player of the Year Beth Daniel also birdied 18 for an opening round 69. She would play the weekend with the additional pressure of needing one more major win to gain Hall of Fame status. But while Williams and Daniel faded on Friday with second round 78s, the defending champion took charge. Annika Sorenstam played near flawless golf. This precision iron shot on the par 4 ninth set up a birdie 3. And then the 25-year-old Swede capped it in style on 18. A birdie for a stellar 3-under second round 67 and a second round 3-shot lead, and she would increase it on the front 9 during yesterday's third round. This birdie on the par 4 6th added to a lead that would swell to 5. The challenge was on, and 45-year-old Hall of Famer Pat Bradley led the charge. This birdie putt on 13, part of the round of the day, a 67 for the veteran, who hoped to turn back the clock one more time. Sorenstam's playing competitor Brandy Burton was also up to the challenge. The 24-year-old would begin to chip away at the lead at the 9th. A birdie, and the Saturday duel was on. Former Open champion Jane Geddes would join the charge as well. This birdie at 14 helped rekindle the fire that won her an Open a decade ago. But then later at the same hole, Sorenstam with a rare 3-putt double. And suddenly the 5-shot lead was gone. But the heart of the champion would take over down the stretch. On the toughest hole of the championship, the par 4 17th, a long, rare birdie. And with hopes of becoming the first back-to-back winner in 6 years, Sorenstam rebuilt the lead back to 3, entering the final round. And she would begin to build on it again in the final round. This at the par 3 third after 2 pars to open up her final round. The tee shot, 130 yards, put Sorenstam within birdie range. And she would roll it in, convert it to go to 5 under for the championship. Pat Bradley making more noise again today. This for birdie at the par 3 5th. Shooting to become the oldest women champion ever at age 45. As we take you out to live golf. This at the par 3 5th. This for birdie. Roger Maltby walking with his final twosome.
Well, Annika Sorenstam has hit another green, about a 35-footer for birdie. Brandy Burton already lays 3, about a foot from the hole. Whoa. Got a little work left. Has played absolutely flawless golf really to this point. Has not put her ball in jeopardy at all. Has hit to the centers and away from the troubles on the greens. It's just the same as yesterday, Johnny.
Just so impressed with the way she thinks and then also is able to perform. So that's a great combination when you have those two. And you can see right there she's leading by 4 shots on a record pace. If she were to par in, she would shatter the all-time low scoring mark in the U.S. Women's Open by 2 shots. And so great stuff out of Annika and the rest of the players as well.
Not too Too much break on this putt, probably inside the hole on the right. Good solid 3. This hole's been giving the players a lot of trouble this week.
Good par save at 5 for Sorenstam, who remains at 5 under. Now Brandy Burton. This for bogey. And so the lead, 5 shots over Brandy Burton and Jane Geddes. As we welcome you to this final round of the 51st edition, Dan Hicks along with Marlene Floyd and Johnny Miller. And Johnny, it was last year when Annika Sorenstam had to come back from 5 shots behind the lead to win her first Open. She's in a much different position today. How do you think the pressure will affect her?
Well, let's put it this way. She's a much different player. When she came up to the tower watching the final group play, she was like, you talk about serendipity, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to win this U.S. Open. But this year, she's the woman. She's the best player in the world, and she's saying, hey, I can handle this. I'm playing like I'm supposed to. I'm thinking like I'm supposed to. And her 5-shot lead now, it's not for sure. You need to know that, because in an Open, anything can happen. But she's in very good position now. If she keeps hitting those fairways, only miss 1 fairway every day.
Well, as you take a look at the par 4-6, and as you take a look at the leaderboard, Marlene, who do you think are have the best chance to chase down Sorenstam?
Well, you certainly can't count out Jane Geddes, a past winner. Pat Bradley, very determined and very experienced, and Jane Geddes, along with Davies, will really be playing the golf course, but they have a lot of strength.
And the tee shot of Annika is finding the left rough, and she has been really on target from the fairways all championship week long.
I think just her 4th missed fairway this week.
Brandy Burton won the U.S. Junior Championship on this golf course, the only person playing in the tournament that has won anything on this course.
Got this one headed right. Headed for the right rough.
So both Burton and Sorenstam in the rough outside of the 6th fairway. Meanwhile, ahead up on the green, this is Jane Geddes' birdie attempt to get to 1 under.
And Jane is playing with tremendous confidence. You can just see it the way her mannerisms are and how aggressively she's swinging. And she could get hot and post maybe 2 or 3 under. Could be tough.
But she has had her problems with some 3-putts on these greens. Well, we've heard from Marlene Floyd and Johnny Miller. Now let's introduce you to the rest of our broadcast crew, beginning with Bob Trumpy.
Thank you, Dan. When the United States Golf Association sets up an open golf course, the players can expect firm and fast greens plus lots of rough. This week at Pine Needles, the intermediate rough has been cut to 1-inch primary rough to 3. It's simple. If you're going to win a USGA event, you must drive your ball in the fairway. Annika Sorenstam understands. She's missed just 1 fairway each of the first 3 days. 39 of 42 hit. Those numbers generally produce championships. It could be Annika Sorenstam's 2nd straight U.S. Women's Open championship. Now let's move ahead to Dave Marr.
Before the 3rd round yesterday, I talked about the characteristics of Pine Needles and what Donald Ross did to create good drainage here at the golf course. Slopes away on the sides of the greens, this to get rid of the water. But what that does, it'll take a shot that looks pretty good and yet feed it off the green into the light rough. This is part of the cruelty of a U.S. Open. Let's take a look at a couple of instances where that came into play.
Well, it's a good-looking shot.
Garner hit the pin, Roger.
It was right at it.
Look at this. Just Trickle City. Wow, that is called a lip out. That is Donald Ross personified right there.
Got it pretty solid.
Be nice.
Good-looking shot. Oh. Got over that hill.
Goodbye. Look at that. That is amazing.
I think that Donald Ross would be very proud of Pine Needles because it stood the test of time.
Thank you, Dave. And walking the fairways of this Donald Ross masterpiece, our course reporter is Roger Maltby with a final group of Sorenstam and Burton, 2-time U.S. Women's Open champion Donna Caponi, along with Kay Cockrell as well. Patty Sheehan, a two-time U.S. Open champion, making the walk up the fairway to the 18th green. Patty, one of those past champions who found out how tough it is to finally hoist that championship trophy, and when she did, she was able to win too.
She wanted that win so badly.
As we take you back to the action at the par 4 6th, both Burton and Sorenstam in the rough, Roger?
They both are, but Annika has drawn the better lie of the two. Brandy's has been determined to be away. They're both virtually the same distance from the hole, 162 yards.
Is one a little better angle, Roger?
Brandy has the better angle, but the deeper lie of the two. We'll have to try to hit something, I would imagine, land in the front short of the green and try to chase it on.
Brandy has the strength, Roger, to sort of get through this rough, and interesting that if she can keep the club face square enough and get it through that long 3-inch primary rough.
Well, this will land short. Really not too bad from there, up on the edge.
She swung very smooth at that, Roger. She didn't, try to muscle it or anything. Just smooth little 3/4 punch.
Now Sorenstam, and a rare miss in the fairway. You heard Bob Trumpy describe how accurate she has been. This just the 4th fairway she's missed all championship long.
Out of 46 driving holes here, that's fabulous. Pretty good lie. This is 6-iron. Got it going at the right side of the green. Hit soft, they'll come up short. Not bad, though, underneath the hole.
Ahead to 18, we pick up the 3rd shot from the bunker for Patty Sheehan at the par 4 18th.
Seen absolutely amazing bunker play this week. The women are just putting on a clinic with this. Good sand, but a clinic nonetheless.
And a clinic by Annika Sorenstam so far. The lead is now 5, but a lot of holes remain in this final round. Third shot of Annika Sorenstam up to the flag at the par 4 6th. So that left for par to remain at 5 under. And ahead to 18, Patty Sheehan for par after the beautiful bunker shot. And a nice way to end it for the Hall of Famer. Round of 69 today, finishes +6 for the championship. And back to 6 we go. Third shot of Brandy Burton. Roger?
Electing to use a putter just about 5 feet off the green, but it's very smooth and very low cut grass, so this is a pretty good choice of clubs, really. A little bit uphill, and we'll move slightly to her right. Took a little bounce coming out of the fringe. Knocks some of the speed off it, but not too bad from there.
Brandy Burton, the bogey at 2, then the birdie at 3. Got her to 1 under, but just bogeying 5 to get back to even for the championship. Just 24 years old after turning pro at age 18 after a stellar career at Arizona State University. Ahead to 7, Trump.
It's a par 4, 402 yards. Second shot, Jane Geddes. Stands it even. Jane birdied 1, then bogeyed 4.
Shot.
Oh, and this is a nice shot by Jane Geddes. Someone's got to put some pressure on Sorenstam. Let's move back to 6.
Well, one of the few times that Annika's really given herself any stress, certainly in those last 2 days. U.S. Open seems so often to come down to making 4- and 5-foot putts hole after hole, but she's had very few that she's had to hold to save par. Not too much movement here, maybe right center. Solid.
Defending champion remains at 5 under. So now Burton must sink her par putt to remain 5 back.
Well, on the other hand, Brandy Burton has struggled a little bit with her long game, certainly as compared to Annika Sorenstam, and yesterday had 25 putts in her round.
Well, there is the Pinehurst area record, Marlene, that you referred to a moment ago. Finished second also up the road at the famous Pinehurst number 2 course in the '89 U.S. Women's Amateur to Vicky Getz. And a beautiful clutch par-saving putt for Burton. And really, golf always came so easy for this former Rookie of the Year. And the line on Brandy Burton so far as she tees off at 7.
It's par 4, 402 yards. She likes her drive.
Going right up to right center.
And Brandy Burton won 6 out of 7 collegiate events her freshman year and said, I think I'm ready for more competition, turned pro.
Earlier, same hole, Annika Sorenstam. Just missed her first fairway of the day at 6. This one, again, in the fairway to 10.
The par 5, third shot, Lisa Lott Neumann. At +3 for the championship, we'll have that left for birdie on one of only 2 par 5s here at Pine Needles. Ahead to 16, Dave Marr.
Par 3, this is Cindy Rarick. This for a birdie. Cindy even par for her round today. Cindy, a very stylish player. Did you hit it? Got it in there. So Rarick goes to 1 under for the day and 4 over for the championship. 280 being par here. Let's go back to 7 and Bob Trumpy.
All right, Dave Marr, thank you very much. This is Jane Geddes. This for birdie. Donna Caponi is with this pairing.
Bob, she had a wonderful 7-iron to a front right pin placement. Jane likes to work the ball left to right. It's a perfect pin for her. This putt's about 6-8 feet. Just inside right, she makes it. She said this morning that her tempo is off. She's already had 9 3-putts in the first 7 holes. She's already had 1 today. That's for the whole championship.
Well, she and Brandy Burton, the 2 closest pursuers to Annika Sorenstam, but no one can make a putt here.
It's a putter she's used for about 3 weeks. I think she's still trying to get used to it.
A par 4, she stays at even, 5 back of the championship leader, Annika Sorenstam. Ahead to 16.
Where we find the amateur, Marissa Baena. This for a par to stay 11 over and tied with Christy Kerr, who is finished with 11 over or 291 for low amateur honors. Those 2 made the cut.
Back to 10, Neumann's birdie try.
Lisa Lott's been fighting her putting lately. She worked a little bit on her driver last week and said she was just trying to get that putter back correctly.
Well, next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, NBC Sports presents the U.S. Gymnastics Championship. It's a great field. That comes your way next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time and next Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time here on NBC. Laura Davies now from the par 5 10th. Kay Cockrell.
One of the 2 chances Laura has to bust a drive. She's hit this one very solid down the left-hand side. Ooh, long way into the wind today as well.
Tremendous shot.
And back to 7.
And the second shot of Annika Sorenstam. Roger, yardage.
157 to the hole. A little concerned. The wind has done a little bit of everything. It's been against and behind here and from the left. This is 7-iron going right at it if it'll get up.
Will it stay there?
Well, not bad. Underneath the hole. The bunker in the back right is no place for the players to mess with.
2-8.
Chris Cheddar, this for birdie. And Chris Cheddar making a move. Now 1 under for the championship with her second birdie of the day. Excuse me, +1 for the championship with a birdie at 8. And now back at 7.
Brandy Burton's second shot in the fairway. How about this yardage, Roger?
This from 155 doesn't have quite as good an angle as Annika had at this hole, which is located on the right side of the green. Again, the bunker to the right is just no good at all. Players would like to keep this ball underneath the hole and left. This is 7-iron.
Go, ball.
Sounds like she might have got that ball a little heavy. Not bad, though. Good shot.
On the green at 7 is Brandy Burton, but the leader continues to be Annika Sorenstam. She is 1 under par for the day, 5 under par for the championship. Safely on the green in regulation. Annika Sorenstam at 7. She leads the LPGA Tour this year in greens and regulations 73% of the time. Roger?
This from about 30 feet. We'll move a little bit to her left. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, just about 3 feet.
Let's move ahead to 8.
Second shot, Hall of Famer Pat Bradley at the par 4.
Just a short hole. She'll have a short iron in here. Always been a very good iron player, as we see right here.
Another chance for the birdie for Bradley. Ahead to 13.
And this is Cindy Schreier. Schreier stands at +6 to this point, but how about this chip?
Uh-oh.
Make it +5 on the championship for Cindy Schreier. And that's the par 3 13th. Now back to 7, Brandy Burton.
Now this about 18 feet, and we'll start breaking left right away. Right side of this green is a little on the high side, so this is downhill and moving to her left.
Take a look at this forward press that Dave Stockton had her work on. She sets up just about 90 degrees, and then now she'll push forward in about just a second here. About an inch or two. There we go. And keeps that handle moving. That's what you got to do. That's a great looking stroke right there. It broke more. Roger, you were right. That breaks pretty big time.
Yeah, it does as it loses speed.
Let's move ahead to 8.
Jane Geddes positioned in the fairway for her second at 8.
Powerful swing. She pulls through the ball. She doesn't throw the club. Plays a little fade. Another good birdie opportunity.
Just about hole high for her. Back to 10. We pick up the second shot of Laura Davies on the par 5 after the huge drive.
Yesterday she had a 6-iron over the green on this 5 par right at the hole, and she's done exactly the same thing, and it's gone into the back bunker. Very easy bunker shot though.
Back to 7.
For par. She's done it again. She remains 1 under for the day, 5 under for the championship. Ahead to 8.
Well, this par 4, 327 yards. Definitely the start of the birdie run. Donna?
Jane's birdie putt is going to move to her right. She had a wonderful 9-iron in here.
She needs one to drop.
In for the 86 Open champion. Picks up her second birdie and moves back to 1 under. Ahead to 11. Second shot of Lisa Lott Neumann.
Another one of the birdie run. We talked about 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 as good birdie opportunities, and she's taken advantage of this hole, which is just 353 yards.
And back to 8. Pat Bradley looking for her birdie attempt. In the 31 victories of her career, she has come back to win them 28 times out of the 31.
That's some statistic. And I used to play with her a lot. I tell you, I watched some of those. Downhill moving to her left.
Yes.
Well, she has always been such a fine putter, and you would think after 20 plus years on the tour you might lose that stroke. She never has.
Back to the tee.
She's working on that first takeaway, Roger. She has a tendency to take the club a little bit outside and then throw it from there. And if you don't watch out, it'll go left, which is what she did at the last fairway she missed. So she's trying to make sure it goes back straight so that she can throw it right down the line. Look pretty good there.
Well, this one's going up the right side. Needs a bounce.
She got it.
Yep, that'll be fine.
Sometimes when you work on trying to get it back inside, Roger, you hit it right after going left. But that one worked out fine.
As you take a look at the 95-96 worldwide record for Annika, 24 top 10s in the 33 starts among the 6 victories. She has been the dominant player.
And she's also won on 4 continents for such a youngster.
And even a younger player, 24 years old, Brandy Burton. Annika's 25.
There's a 3-wood going right down the left center.
And in also good position, Johnny, you mentioned Dave Stockton helping her out. She really lost her zeal for the game, but the senior star has kind of revitalized the 24-year-old's game. But she trails Annika by 5. Jane Geddes trails by 4 as we continue this final round coverage from Pine Needles.
The U.S. Women's Open is brought to you by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of 1996 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles. By Freeport McMoran, a natural leader. By Budget Car and Truck Rental. Budget, all the difference in the world. And by Smith Barney. They make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it.
Tammy Green, this for a birdie. Oh, just out of the right side of the hole. 36-year-old from Somerset, Ohio. Just watch her reaction here. In, no.
And Dave, she's a player you have to watch out for because she's so steady. She makes a lot of pars, hardly ever makes a mistake.
Good open record, too, and let's go to 10.
Bunker shot, 3rd one for Laura Davies here.
This is a simple little explosion shot. She does a very fine job. And she, I guess, was trying to make it.
Back to 8. Second shot for the leader.
From 130 yards, just a little bit right of the hole, wants to hook.
Ahead to 11, her fellow countrywoman for birdie, Neumann. And Neumann has her first birdie since the 4th hole, and she moves back to +2 for the championship. As you take a look back out of the fairway at 8, Brandy Burton getting ready for her second. Roger?
123 yards to the hole with a 9-iron, a little bit uphill. Good angle from this left center of the fairway, however. She's looking right in at the flag.
Good.
Gosh darn it, Brandy.
Going well right side of the green.
Just about hole high as it checked up. And now the birdie attempt to Laura Davies. And she's played the par 5s and 5 under this week. as she moves to +2, Kay.
She was sure shaking her head on that. She had 198 yards into the flag, 20 yards further than she had yesterday, hit the same club, a 6-iron, and you saw it still went over the green. Unbelievable.
And it's uphill, too.
Exactly.
I mean, she carried that ball on the green. She must have carried that thing at least 180 yards uphill. That's a tremendous 6-iron.
To the 9th.
Chris Cheddar, this for a birdie. Cheddar 1 under for her round today with that putt. She's won one time on the LPGA Tour, but her biggest year last year when she won over $360,000. As you look at the leaderboard, and Sorenstam still 4 strokes ahead. Cheddar moving up, gets her to even par. Let's go. Join Donna Caponi.
Jane's ball's in the primary rough, which is about 3 inches, but she's drawn a very good lie, 139 yards to a front right pin placement. Just Marcia was a little bit too close.
Yeah, the marshals can drive you nuts sometimes, because right when you're ready to take it back, they'll stick the quiet sign up, you know. I don't mind them being there. Just don't give me the quiet stuff.
Well, they're trying to help, and they got their back turned to you, and they don't know when you're getting ready. But anyhow, she's got to make her move.
Very strong player.
And says her game is at its peak right now. Everything but her putting is very strong.
Oh, Donald Ross.
Well, that shot got carried away by the slope. She thought it was good. You could tell by the way she was holding her finish that it was on line. Now, Pat Bradley. What has she got, Donna?
Pat's 130. The breeze right now is moving from the players left to right, and this hole plays a little bit downhill, probably a half a club down.
1 under so far today. Very, very nice shot by Pat Bradley. Gives her a chance to get in the red figures for the championship. 45 years old and has won all 4 of the modern day LPGA major events. And let's go to 8.
Brandy Burton for birdie to get back to 1 under. Back to 12.
Katrine Nielsmark, second shot at 12. She stands at +1 on the championship. She is 2 under for the day. Hold up. Stay there. Very nice shot for Katrine Nielsmark. Back to 11.
Laura Davies on the tee, 353 yards, par 4.
Changing her tune, deciding to go with a driver. She's been hitting 2-iron off every hole but the par 5s, but I guess she figures it's time to start taking advantage of her big distance, and that's a huge, huge drive.
That's something she's played with a little bit this week. When do I start to become aggressive and attack this course? Back to 8, Sorenstam for birdie.
You want to see the definition of a smooth stroke. Take a look at that one. Wow.
The lead is 5 for Annika Sorenstam. She's held the lead since making the turn in the second round on Friday. Can she hold on for back-to-back Open championships? And we'll move you back down to the par 4 ninth. Dave Marr.
This is Jane Geddes. You remember her shot went into the bunker on the right. This is her 3rd shot. Oh, not an easy shot from where she was, but I know a little disappointed with that 2nd shot and how it turned out. Let's go back to the 9th tee. Leader.
So I just keep hitting fairways. She's doing everything you're supposed to do.
Well, she's been doing it all week too, John. Just hitting the fairways and the greens, and of course that putting stroke you mentioned there at 9, at the 8 was pure, as Jane Geddes tries to save her par here at the 9th. Oh, Well, just as she makes a little charge, she falls back a little bit. So out in 35 as we go to Laura Davies.
Just a wedge on the downslope. A little unlucky being on the downslope, but a little unlucky there too.
Not able to take advantage of the big drive at 11, back to 9.
Pat Bradley for her birdie, which would put her 2 under for the round today. 1 under for the championship if she should make it.
Her stroke's not smooth like Annika's, but it gets the job done, huh, Dave?
It has for 23 years. Good speed. Oh. Doggone. Well, good putt.
It's a good putt, Dave, and she's hit some wonderful irons into these locations where it tuck a little bit.
Yeah, let's go to 12.
Birdie putt, Katrin Nilsmark at 12. Stands at +2, no.
Chris Cheddar at the par 5 10th, her second shot. She's at even par.
Hit a big tee shot. Probably going with the 2-iron. Big high backswing. Might be going right.
She plays the ball from right to left, and she's sneaky long. She puts a lot of overspin on her shot.
Let's see if it hangs in there. Nope. It's like hitting to the top of your head, these greens.
Well, Chris Cheddar, a member of Shady Oaks Country Club in Fort Worth, Texas, and that just happens to be another member there, pretty famous, Ben Hogan, who she's worked with from time to time. And we asked her if the legend might be watching today.
Yeah, as far as I know, Mr. Hogan is watching, and I know he always roots for me. Every time I talk to him, he knows what it's like to be playing on tour and what a grind it is, and he's always real understanding, and both he and his wife are rooting for me.
And she says he doesn't necessarily teach her things, but they just hit some balls on the range from time to time and just commiserate. Talk golf.
That's great.
Back to 9.
Roger Maltby with this group. Roger, what kind of shot does she have?
Monica has 131 yards to the hole. Wind against the player, slightly going with a little 8-iron.
It's a birdie opportunity.
All right.
Practice left of the hole at the center of the green.
Well, that's what she wanted. You don't want to flirt with that flag that's just 15 feet from the right fringe. Let's go to 11.
Third shot for Laura Davies. Good birdie try. That tap in to remain at +2 and back to 9.
And Brandy Burton and Roger Maltby.
Brandy's got 120, and she's going to have to start aiming at the flags, Dave. This is, it's time to make a move if you're going to get it done.
Well, they all are. And a player like Bradley knows not birdieing there, she's going to have to do something on the back. Brandy 1 over today.
Favorite shot's a 3/4 punch iron. That's just what that was.
That's a nice shot to the 9th. Gives her a good chance for a birdie and possible pickup of a shot. You can see the final rounds that she's had, with the exception of 1995. Really some high scores for a girl that is really very talented. I thought she was going to be a world beater when she came out. I'm sure she did too. Sorenstam at the 9th. This for a birdie. Beautiful speed. Just don't make any mistakes. Nice solid pars. Let's go to 10.
Third shot from the bunker for Cheddar on the par 5. Beautiful touch. And so a chance for 3 straight birdies for Chris Cheddar, and an opportunity to join Sorenstam as the only players under par, as we take a look at a beautiful shot down at the Pine Needles Lodge and Golf Club from the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1. And inside of the Blimp's gondola, a state-of-the-art camera system capable of tracking a golf ball in flight from an altitude of 1,200 feet. Back down to the course to the 9th.
And Brandy Burton, this for a birdie to get within Within 5. Roger?
Not much break here at all. Pretty true running putt.
Go. In. That's the way. Good drive. Very good second. So with that birdie, goes back to even par for today. 1 under for the championship. Nice, solid front 9. 33 for Sorenstam. Let's go to 10.
Tammy Green, birdie attempt.
Looks good.
Is good. She's back to even par for the championship. Her first birdie of the day after 9 straight pars. And she's been very successful in major championships, especially last year, Marlene.
And she's had major surgery this year. She was out for 2 months.
And Cheddar joins Burton at 1 under par, tied for second. 3 straight birdies for Cheddar. Back out in the fairway, Jane Geddes.
Jane's 197 yards, but she's not going to be able to move this ball very far. Ooh, got a lot more club on that than I thought she would.
You'd think you'd have a half a grade when there's 1 hole on the golf course you can get to in 2, and you don't even fucking drive on the fairway. That is like...
She's taking my job.
I should be absolutely shocked.
Well, while Jane continues to talk to herself back at the tee at 10, final twosome, Brandy Burton getting ready. Roger?
Well, this is a par 5. Brandy can obviously reach. Tee shot is key. You heard Jane Geddes getting on herself for not hitting the fairway here. That's the important part right here, is getting the ball in the fairway so she can take advantage of her length.
Fairway's pretty wide, about 35 yards, so plenty of room out there. Uphill, though. Over that water's 180.
And Brandy's driving distance yesterday average was 249 yards. This is up a hill. Won't get much roll, but a nice play.
Well, here's a look at how the leaders have played the par 5s, and a reminder, only 2 here at Pine Needles. And Annika Sorenstam, who's really not the longest of these hitters, leads the way so far through 3 at 4 under.
It's interesting. Annika actually hit it past Brandy yesterday on this hole, though. She's sort of maybe sneaky, getting a little sneaky long. She can hit it out there decent at distance. How's it look, Roger?
Just another good one.
Let's see what kind of distance she gets compared to. She gets more roll than Brandy, and see that? She just runs right on by her, says, see ya.
Back up the fairway. Pick up the 3rd shot of Pat Bradley, even par.
That's a pitching wedge from 97. Needed 1 more hop to get back to that flag.
Ahead to 18, Cindy Rarick trying to pick up a birdie.
Put her second shot right where you want it, underneath the hole.
Looks great.
Woo! Cindy.
Birdie at 18 for Rarick in a 68. Beautiful final round, finishes the championship at +3. 5 shots is the lead for the defending champion, as Cheddar and Burton have joined in the chase. They're also under par. Laura Davies still has quite a bit of golf left. She's at +2, and we'll be right back in a moment. Back to the action at the 10th, 3rd shot, Jane Geddes.
Little uphill, probably just a sand wedge. Perfect right there, right underneath the hole, right where you want it.
Maybe all that talking got her inspired.
Well, she's a very emotional player.
Well, she knows this is a hole that she could maybe make eagle on if she hit a good drive, you know, and pick up a shot or 2. So you hate to pass up that opportunity by missing in the left rough.
Well, only 2 of the 15 amateurs who started this Open Championship made the cut. One was 18-year-old Christy Kerr, who plans to turn pro right out of high school after the Curtis Cup later this month, and what she'll be participating in. This was the first hole, the par 5 first. That was her 3rd shot, and she converted this birdie attempt. Very confident young player. Finished with an impressive 69 today to finish the championship at +11. Marissa Baena, another amateur to make the cut. Turned 19 years old yesterday, the reigning NCAA champion from the University of Arizona.
And she doesn't look too big, but she was leading the stats in long driving this week, so a little power pack gal right there.
And had the incredible shot to help clinch the championship for the Wildcats. As we take a look at Jane Getty's birdie attempt at 10, Pat Bradley's already made par here.
About 6 feet inside right.
Too easy, Donna.
Yeah, I know. It went left as soon as she made contact with that ball.
We could really see it on the television, Donna. She just eased up into that putt, almost like trying to be too careful.
I saw her on the practice green yesterday in the late afternoon working on the putting stroke. Back out in the fairway now. Brandy Burton, Roger.
Brandy's got 227 yards. This is uphill. The wind, what there is coming from the right. She can, there's no question about that.
Okay, that's good.
She's got this ball going to the right. Gonna miss the right side of the green.
.211, second shot of Tammy Green. 6 back.
She just has a short iron and she hits a punch shot. Wonderful iron player again, always steady.
Chance for 2 birdies in a row for Green, back to 10, second for Sorenstam.
3 wood from 223. Got this ball going at the right side of the green.
And running.
Good looking shot.
Great distance control, Roger.
She's got every kind of control.
Ahead to 11. Chris Cheddar.
Coming off a birdie at 10. Trying to punch out of that rough. A real crisp swing. I don't know if it'll stop, though.
It'll be a long birdie try for her 4th straight. So the game is on in Southern Pines, North Carolina, and the chase continues to try and catch Sorenstam. The Pinehurst area in beautiful North Carolina covers 760 square miles, and it features nearly 600 golf holes, and there's a beautiful one there.
Now number 10 there, the par 5, and Tammy Green's on the 11th here, putting for birdie.
Tammy Green. That was a bid for 2 straight birdies and a chance for Green to get under par. There's the 3rd shot.
A little different setup, ball back in her stance.
Well, she's learned a lot of new shots from Dave Stockton around the green. Perhaps that bunker shot, because that was played well back in her stance.
To 13.
Birdie attempt. Laura Davies stands at +2 on the championship. Oh, dead in the heart for Laura Davies. So she's now at +1, but that's 7 behind Annika Sorenstam. Back to 10.
And Annika Sorenstam with an eagle try, Roger.
We'll move a little bit to her left from about 20 feet, but only gently.
This is a makeable putt right
here. Very makeable.
The lead is 7.
She won a tournament on the U.S. Tour last year, and she beat all the American players by 10 shots.
8 under par. Whoa. She's on a pace to break the all-time low U.S. Open scoring record by several shots, not just 1 or 2.
this is just unbelievable.
And the record is 277 by Lieselot Neumann in 1986 and Patty Sheehan in 1994. 277, and she's looking at 272 right now with all pars.
Brandy Burton trying to keep some sort of pace with this birdie try.
Just about right edge. Well, it turned the other way. You would have thought Brandy's power might have been a factor on this hole, but it was Annika that came away with the 3.
So a par for Burton, eagle for Sorenstam. 2-shot swing right there in the final twosome.
Just looking at her right there shows her strength, that she doesn't get real keyed up when she makes an eagle, and she's very calm when she made that double bogey yesterday. This girl's got all the qualities. It's no fluke.
Let's take a look at that perfectly played hole one more time. This eagle putt just outside right edge. She strokes it with perfect pace.
Kind of like ho-hum. I like it, but
hard to find any weaknesses in her game.
Well, I mean, she could, you know, have a little more strength, but she's still getting good distance, and she's keeping it in play. And this woman right here is going to be around at the top spot for a long time at this rate. She does, like we said, she just doesn't have any weaknesses, and her putting has become a real strength.
Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year, as you take a look at some who have finished already and some still playing Pine Needles.
And it needs to be said that Annika has got the low scoring average on tour this year, and she has not won, and she was really overdue to win a tournament, so it's coming at a nice time. She could have sort of, you know, maybe instead of this 7-shot lead, she could have spread it out and won 4 times, but
the best round of the day so far, 67, turned in by England's Alison Nicholas, who finished at +5. But here we are at the 11th tee. 7-shot lead for Sorenstam. This is the par 4, 353 yards.
And sticking with the driver, it's just, I guess, if you got it going, you might as well flaunt it a little, Roger.
That was the only fairway she missed yesterday, but I'd be surprised if she missed it again today. And she didn't, right in the center.
well, why should she play safe now? She hits that driver so straight. It's one of the best clubs in her bag.
There it is. Great graphic.
Just 4 fairways missed all championship long.
And that putts, you know, even par, or 2 putts a hole have been 20 putts, and she's made 5 1-putts. So that's pretty sweet. 5 out of 10.
This ball going left.
Got a good bounce.
Well, it stays out of the primary rough. But the task has become even bigger for the rest of the field. A 7-shot bulge now for the superstar from Sweden.
To do here is not really miss it above the hole, off the green. He wants to land it just on the front edge, and probably his main concern now is just to make a good solid swing, good contact, and good thoughts.
Beautifully struck there, right at the flag.
Watch out for this one. This is a shot of his life.
Great moments in golf. NBC Sports.
And in case you don't get pumped up enough after watching that, we'll try to do our best with a special preview of the 96 U.S. Open. Comes your way at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. It's at the historic Oakland Hills Country Club, the course dubbed the Monster when Ben Hogan tamed it back in '51. And I know, Johnny, you'll have a lot of fun describing those legendary greens as well. The leader, Sorenstam, off the tee.
Got a 9-iron from 120 yards and right at it.
Right underneath the hole, Roger. Green light special.
Oh, man.
To 18, we pick up the second shot of Beth Daniel, who led this championship back on Thursday after the first round. +3 so far on her round today, at +8 for the championship. And that'll be an easy kick-in birdie for Daniel, who, remember, needs only one more major championship to gain Hall of Fame status. Back to 11, Brandy Burton.
From 100 yards, this is pulled well left of the hole.
Well, the way Annika's playing, Roger, it makes her game pale in significance.
Well, until the 14th hole yesterday, Sorenstam had been virtually flawless. But 3 putts later, her round did take a major turn. This was for par on the 14th after missing the green and having it roll back. The comeback bogey try. Power lip out. So she had to settle for a double bogey, and her lead was all of a sudden gone. But she gathered herself on the 15th yesterday with this par save, the very next hole. And her lead would be rebuilt to 3 shots with a spectacular birdie bomb on the difficult par 4 17th. So it was yesterday when she really showed the mettle of a champion, and has just taken it to a whole new level today.
She had every opportunity in the world after that out of nowhere double bogey on 2 nice shots to sort of maybe let it get away from her. But man, that was impressive. And then today's even more impressive.
To the 12th, Chris Cheddar.
3rd shot. Cheddar drive in the rough. Chris Cheddar is at 1 under par on the championship, 3 under par on the day. And she's losing ground to Annika Sorenstam. Tammy Green also hit her drive in the rough. She's there for a par. Let's move back to 11.
Brandy Burton.
Across the green, Roger. About a 30-footer, but pretty close to the fall line, John. It will move a little bit to her right and quite fast from here, but not a lot of break in this putt.
Definitely a little work right at the end. Not much, though, like Roger said.
Well, as Annika lines up another birdie putt, chance to look at some other scores. There is the NCAA champion Baena, turning in a +15 for the championship. Pat Bradley at even par through 11.
Well, she's got one of those putts that you just can't wait to hit almost, Roger. Just right where you want it, isn't it?
It's just right underneath the hole from about 7-8 feet. Might try to sneak a little bit to the right, maybe the edge, or just inside, depending on the speed she wants to hit it.
And she hits the putts with a lot of pace. Her putts are going 2, 3, 4, 5 feet by all the time. You don't see her come up short often.
Well, hit that one softly, and that's all that kept. That's all it took to keep that one out. Otherwise, a little more pace, you'd have had that.
To 18. That's all that's left for a birdie finish for Beth Daniel. Only the 7th birdie of the day turned in on 18.
The reason we haven't heard of her too much after the first round is she's just been back from injuries and is not real strong yet.
Back at 11. Burton for par. And ahead to 12.
All right, we saw the pitch of Chris Cheddar, this for par. And I repeat, she is 1 under par for the championship, 3 under par for the day, and she has lost 1 stroke to Annika Sorenstam on this round. This for par.
Cross-handed style, very quiet hand action.
Good ball. Excellent pull. But she remains 7 back. Now back out to the fairway at the par 4, 12, 350 yards. Looks like Jane Geddes will be first to hit. Annika Pony. These two players are obviously aware of what Annika's done.
Yes, in fact, Jane is walking off that tee, was looking at her standard bearer that and see what Annika was doing. Jane's 128.
Looks like Bradley's going to go first, Donna.
But I don't think it is. I think it's Jane Geddes, but Bradley's going. And Bradley is 126. As you said, the pin in the middle to left side of the green. I suppose you're going to have to start firing right at it if they're going to make any birdies.
Very nice shot by Pat Bradley. She stands at even. Has certainly played well in the final round of the U.S. Open, 72.9. Shot a final round record 66 to win her U.S. Women's Open in 1981. Annika's threatening that too. Now Jane Geddes, second shot.
Jane with a 9-iron.
Don't want to miss it left.
She's losing a little right.
That's not a bad miss.
That's a popular spot, huh, Bob?
Yes,
on
it
that hole?
is. Very popular. Hit to the middle of these greens, putt to the edges. Now back to the tee. Annika Sorenstam. Roger, it's just not supposed to be this easy.
Well, she's making it look terribly simple, Trump. There's no question about that. I didn't think I'd ever live long enough to see somebody hit a golf ball straighter than Calvin Peete, but I think he met his match. I mean, they're not even on the right side and the left side. They're just all right in the middle. This has just been as complete a performance as I can remember watching.
And she is not able to enjoy it yet, but if she keeps this lead till about probably heading home on 15, she'll start smiling a lot more. But she knows that it's not a guarantee yet.
Need I ask, Roger?
No. Right center, perfect.
At the par 3 13th, 171 the yardage. Chris Cheddar. Chris has played the par 3s and 1 under par this week.
Playing a punch cut. Powerful player.
Left edge. Randy Burton.
Just going down the left center of the fairway.
Is in the fairway.
Well, it's been a marvelous week here in the Pinehurst area, and we have to look forward to more championships in the future, because in 1999, just up the road, the famed Pinehurst #2 will be the site of the U.S. Open in 1999, and also some great trips in 97 and 98, the Olympic Club in your neck of the woods, Johnny, and then also Pebble Beach golf links in the year 2000.
Yeah, I got 2 out of 3 years in my backyard. It's pretty sweet.
And the galleries this week here in North Carolina have really supported this USGA event, and we hope have broken all the records this week.
Yeah, they set records last year at the Broadmoor. record attendance in the first 3 rounds, and I assume it will be a record-setting weekend in Pine Needles.
Danny, this is Pat Bradley birdie attempt. Remember, Pat tied for 3rd last year at the Broadmoor to Annika Sorenstam. She presently stands at even.
Anytime the pin has been on the right-hand side of the greens, Trump, she's tried to cut it in there and has double-crossed and had some long putts. This was a pin that I really thought she'd be able to turn it into and didn't.
Well, Donna, she didn't appear to be a bit disappointed with hitting it where she did, so maybe out of that situation she was happy with it standing underneath the ball the way she was.
Right.
This has been a very tough hole location today. 12 has allowed just 7 birdies on the day.
It's hard to read, too. I was talking to one of the marshals, and everybody on the right side is under-reading it. It breaks way more than it looks like.
Well, tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, we've got NBA playoff action for you. It's the decisive 7th game of the Western Conference Finals, as the Jazz travel to Key Arena in Seattle to try to win that decisive 7th game. We'll try to keep Johnny Miller under control for the rest of the telecast, get him safely back to the television set to watch it unfold at 7 Eastern.
Oh, boy. Can't wait.
You're jazzed, Johnny.
I am definitely jazzed.
Birdie attempt, Jane Geddes. Started the day at even. 2 birdies, 2 bogeys is even. Donna?
Well, you've been here all day, but I think it's about a good 1.5 foot break to the left.
That's what the marshal said. But almost every ball he said has been low. That one's not. That was a great putt.
She deserved better.
That's a couple of those last few holes. She thought she had it.
Well, she tried to make a run at Annika Sorenstam, but misses like that. 216.
Par 3, 167 yards today on the tee. Katrin Nilsmark started today at 3 over, is now just 1 over for the championship. Another one of the very fine Swedish players. Great shot. Gets a lot of speed, and she too is a long hitter. Good shot into 16. Had a chance to go to 3 under for the day. Let's go back to 12.
And the par attempt, Jane Geddes. Well, it went in. It hit the bottom. Par 4 for Jane Geddes. She stays at even. And at the par 3 13th, second shot, Tammy Green. Very difficult.
Looks like she's setting up weird to it.
Tammy to this point had no bogeys going back to 15 yesterday, but she'll definitely have one here at 13 unless she holds that bunker shot. Now Pat Bradley.
Bob, this putt's only 1.5 foot, but she goes through her regular routine. She just doesn't take this putt for granted, even though it's that short.
Pat Bradley at 45 years old. Already has an Open 86.
Yeah, by 45 years old, you know you can miss those.
Now 13, Tammy Green, third shot. Now that left for bogey at 13. Now back in the fairway at 12. Roger, yardage.
Brandy Burton has 142 yards to the hole. Cannot let this ball get left of the hole, otherwise it can come back down into that deep bunker.
That's good.
At an 8-iron, and it's going at the center of the green.
Darn it, Brandon.
Sounds a little frustrated, Trump.
Yes, well, I think watching the performance of Annika Sorenstam would frustrate anybody, no matter what you do.
She's left herself 135 yards to the hole.
And you'll notice, folks, that the caddies are very involved with lining up the players on their shots and their putts. Some people are not sure they like that too much. Wondering if it shouldn't be more individualistic over the ball.
It's a big 9-iron, right of the hole, but in a good spot.
Take a look at her little. It's peculiar. Watch the head action. You just head goes back to the right, going back, and then watch coming down, and never hits the chin again. It just rides up and through, and she gets to watch it a little longer than most people.
And I think that's one of the best things about her swing, being small and slight and little. She has a tremendous shoulder turn, even though that head comes up, Johnny. Really, the only thing that she can do because of that is hit a ball thin occasionally.
It's par 3, 13th. Birdie attempt for Chris Cheddar.
Go.
Oh, goodness. As we continue the final round of the 51st U.S. Women's Open, it is Annika Sorenstam's show. Now, this is Tammy Green on tape at 13 for bogey. Now, that ruins an awful good round for Tammy Green. Unfortunately, that's a double bogey. Sergio +2 on the championship.
The one thing Tammy's fought after having surgery this year is fatigue, and she said it sometimes sets in on the backside.
Well, right below the blimp now, Annika Sorenstam. Randy Burton. Put it before her, now Annika. Again, Roger, this is the right spot to be in this green.
It's underneath the hole. We'll move a little bit right to left, about 6-8 inches.
This is the putt that the player's been under reading. But a good leave.
To the tee at 13. The yardage is 171. You can see it's downhill. Jane Geddes.
Bob, this is a 6-iron that she's elected to hit.
Very upright swing. Gets a little shot at the top. And pulls down and across it. Strong, a lot of speed.
Jane has played the par 3s at +4 this week. Excellent shot. To the tee at 14.
401 yards.
A powerful player, big arc.
Trying to take a driver over the right corner, and it may not quite get over the mounds.
In the rough.
Got over the mounds, though.
Kind of a gutsy play.
Well, the battle for second is being staged. Cheddar and Burton tied at 1 under and back to 12.
All right, Annika Sorenstam now for another par. Randy Burton has already made her par at the 12th. Okay. 4 under on the day, 8 under on the championship. And she's going to put new fingerprints over her old fingerprints on that U.S. Women's Open trophy.
You are watching the U.S. Women's Open on NBC Sports.
Look at the 13th green here at Pine Needles, par 3. Part of the par 70 layout here, put together by Donald Ross back in 1927. We mentioned Pinehurst #2, the open site in '99, another Donald Ross creation. The 13th.
Birdie attempt, Pat Bradley. This would put her in red numbers for the championship. No. Now head to 15.
Laura Davies, this for a par to stay at +1. And she's got it, a real good 2-putt from about 65 feet. It's a long hitting English star. Let's go to 17.
Third shot, Val Skinner to the difficult par 4.
Longest 4 par on the golf course.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man. second hardest hole in the course.
She'll remain at +3, back to 13.
And Jane Getty's attempt to get under par is successful. She stands at 1 under on the day, 1 under on the championship. The 86 U.S. Open champion, and ahead to 16.
The par 3 16th. Laura Davies, her tee shot. Hole in the right front portion of the green today. It's a little short, spins down to the left. A lot of balls gathered down there. Hard flag to shoot at. Let's go to 13, the other par 3 on the
All right,
back.
Dave Marr, 171 the yardage. Annika Sorenstam on the tee. Roger, have you got the club?
6 iron, slightly downhill, just 157 to the front edge. Comfortable 6 iron. And a miss hit. This ball is headed to the right. And that's not the place to leave it. Short side in the right bunker. First mistake, really.
What happened, Johnny?
Well, let's just take a look at it and see. Setting up right perfectly. Takes it back straight. Didn't go outside with it. Watching he comes down. Just sort of, you know, that head movement going forward like that. I'm not saying, and she's got a groove, but that's the tendency. If you move your head forward, you usually hit a little right, but she's got a groove, so I don't know if I can claim that.
Brandy Burton.
Also 6 iron. This ball going a little bit right of the flag. If it gets up, no, short.
Ahead to 14.
Second shot from the rough for Chris Cheddar.
Sitting up a little.
Oh, Chris.
Just a mad lash at that ball. She's got a lot of speed and power.
She does. She's a very handsy player. Uses her wrist as much as anyone.
And a lot of arm speed, too. Just whip back, whip through. You can see a beautiful banana-shaped hole. This 14th hole, I think, just a masterpiece by Ross. Just that you want to curve it right around the corner there. And you want to hit it right at the end of that cart path, the right side with a little fade.
That's a 3-wood, Johnny. Perfect.
Pat Bradley.
Problem on this.
Conjuring up some good golf.
Yeah, the problem here is you drive it right through the fairway if you don't watch out.
1 under for her round today. As we remind you again, beginning June 13th, we're proud to present unprecedented live 4-day network coverage of the 96 U.S. Open. Earlier this year, we all watched as Greg Norman had a painful Masters slip away, but now the Shark attempts to gain a title he's never won. The U.S. Open Championship, the 96th edition from Oakland Hills Country Club. First round coverage beginning June 13th at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on NBC. Back to 14 from the bunker. Chris Cheddar's third. Beautiful.
Great form there. A lot of spin. Made it look easy.
And that was her coach right there.
To 16.
And Laura Davies, this to go even par for the championship.
Tremendous competitor. Just.
There it is. Even par. 2 under for today.
She's acting like she's 1 behind, Dave.
Well, she is a great person to watch play. She's just.
Second shot, Sorenstam. Caught it thin, Roger.
Had a little bit of a downhill lie. The club bounced on her.
I'm surprised she didn't pick the club up more. She took it back low and short, which is not as good a way as coming up and swinging down with the slope more. Let's take a look at that. Watch her backswing. Most of the time people pick it up quickly and get the club high. See, she has just like a half swing, just halfway through, and then hits up on it a little. She should have chased down after a little more and just thumped it.
She might have forgotten how to hit those shots, John. She hadn't had to play
That's right. That's right.
No, second shot. A chip by Brandy Burton at 13.
Well, that's a green to work with here. Just an 8 iron, pitch it just onto the green. We'll move a little bit from her right to left, but not very much break. skidded on her.
That was not a good one, Roger.
No, it wasn't. It just kind of skidded and got away immediately.
She must have been thinking about making it or something, because you'd never, you wouldn't see her knock it that far by and that easy of a pitch shot. She could have putted that, couldn't she?
She could have. That certainly would have been one of the options, you bet.
Roger, guess the distance of this putt now for Annika.
Well, that's got to be a good 35-footer. And really, in the last 2 days, that is the first time, with the exception of 14 yesterday, where she was unfortunate to had really hit 2 very good shots on that hole into the green. But this is the first time she's really put it in the wrong place, a bad place.
And the viewers that just tuned in need to know that starting with this hole, it's not a real hard hole, but starting now from here to 18, there are all kinds of bogeys and double bogey potential possibilities. So, you know, if she happened to 3-putt this, I'm not saying anything, the wheels are going to fall off, but you just don't want to have, when you even though you got a big lead, you don't want to, some negative things start creeping in because they can grow.
Well, this should move just a little bit from her left to right, back uphill slightly.
Pretty firm, Roger.
And she's let that get away. That's 3.5 to 4 feet.
You know, you got a 7-shot lead. You don't want to have a 5-shotter walking off the green.
To 14.
Chris Cheddar for her par.
This is a very slippery downhiller. She needs to play this putt just about inside the right edge.
Nicely done. Remains at 1 under, tied with Geddes and Burton. Only 4 players under par. Back to 13.
And the par attempt of Brandy Burton.
Not much here, Trump. This is really a very, very flat green. Very little movement in it. Very subtle breaks.
3-way tie for second between Cheddar, Geddes, Burton. Now 2-way tie.
Roger, on screen, that was dead straight.
There's just not much movement on this one.
So, a bogey 4 for Brandy Burton. She is now at even. And a bogey putt upcoming for Sorenstam.
Yeah, that was a bad bogey on Brandy's part. I was going to say 9 out of 10 times she's going to get that ball up and down from the front of this green, so she really let one get away.
And one of those 10 should have been in.
And this is the first time I've seen Annika really not be in the present, even after she hit her putt from behind the hole, was staring back at the bunker and shaking her head as though she was still thinking about the bunker shot she played.
Yeah, Roger, last time she dropped a shot yesterday at 14, that double bogey. She's been clean to this point, but this now for bogey. Annika Sorenstam now 7 under for the championship, 3 under for the day, and she leads by 7.
Well, Johnny, as we take a look at the leaderboard, the 6-shot lead for Annika Sorenstam, you mentioned the difficult holes beginning with 14. The final 5 have had some teeth in them this week. Let's take a look.
14th hole is a par 4, 401 yards, and now the course starts to get real tough. You can see this dogleg right. It's difficult to hit the fairway because you have to fit it right in the turn of this area right here, this shaded area. If you get it in there, you got a good chance on your second, but if you hit it to the right, look at the kind of mounding you have, and of course those pine trees are definitely in play. Yesterday, Pat Bradley came to the 14th hole, 4 under par for the day. Although her approach was exact, she couldn't capitalize on making birdie number 5. The 15th hole is a straightaway par 4, 405 yards. Interesting hole because the hole doesn't say too much to you, and so it's hard to fit the ball in the fairway. But a good straight drive down the right center, because there's tremendous slope from right to left, will leave you in the left side of the fairway, which is the flattest part of the area to hit from. The second shot, as you can see, leaves you a nice opening in front, but you got to watch out for those 2 bunkers right and left. 16th hole is a nice level par 3 of 167 yards. Got bunkers all around and one well short of the green that sort of throws off your depth perception if you don't watch out. But it's a nice hole, a small flattish green, and really not too bad of a shot if the wind isn't blowing. During the second round, Meg Mallon appeared to be disappointed with this tee shot, but remember, in this game, looks can be deceiving. A near ace. 17th hole, par 4, longest hole on the golf course for a 4-par, 424 yards. I think it's the hardest hole out here. It's really difficult. You got a dogleg left right here. You got to fit your drive in that shaded area. There is OB right and left. You can get the ball in the fairway there. The players are left with a long shot to the green. Yesterday, Jane Geddes came to the 17th and 3rd place. Her approach to this difficult par 4 was precise, although she didn't gain an advantage because she misses this putt. You do have to be careful on the second shot approach because there's bunkers right and left, and again out of bounds close on the left side. 18th hole is a fine finishing hole, 418 yards, par 4. Again, a dogleg left, trees both left and right. When the pressure's on, this tee shot right here gets pretty tight. But if you can hit it on top of this hill, about 225 yards, it catches the downslope and it'll run down to where the arrow is now. From there, you're left with a downhill second shot, which is very difficult to hit crisply. It's easy to hit the ball thin or heavy, and you can see this green is bunkered by 3 bunkers, but the tough part of this green is the way it falls off in the back and on the right. You can see right there, there's going to be a lot of balls on the green, trickle down the hill into that long primary rough. Brandy Burton found herself in this position. She played a tremendous chip shot, enabling her to get up and down to save par. The 18th hole will offer a lot of excitement when the final groups arrive here later today.
Well, the defending champion has arrived at 14 with a 6-shot lead, 401 yards. And those are tough holes, but she does have a significant cushion if she bogeys every hole coming in. Someone will still have to play the final holes under par to catch her.
Yeah, it's easy to smile when you just keep hitting the short stuff. And I'll tell you, that's the club, the driver won her the golf tournament if she wins.
Now Brandy Burton coming off a bogey just like Sorenstam at 13. Gallery likes it. And a good result for Burton. Up ahead on the 14th green, Pat Bradley, this for birdie to get to 1 under.
Pat's 40-footer will move to her left. Didn't hit a very good iron shot into this hole location.
To 15.
Chris Cheddar, this is on tape, happened earlier, 405-yard par 4. And she let that really get away to the right. Better watch it up there too, because there's a boundary. She's very close to that, and the cables, you see it came to rest.
The cable's almost helping out a little.
Oh, I think they may have a little bit, John. But and Kay Cockrell has been up there to look at that. Kay?
Oh boy, she just stayed in bounds by the hair on her chinny chin chin. About 2 inches inside the boundary line, and she marked her ball, and then she and the officials, the referees, are removing the cables, and in the process her ball moved slightly.
But she had it marked, right?
Yes.
So when it's marked, that just means she puts it back there. Let David Fay could enlighten us a little on that.
Yeah, well, the cables are a movable obstruction, so the player properly marked her ball in the event that the ball moved after moving the obstruction. The ball did move, but she knows exactly where to replace it.
David, if those cables were stretched such that she couldn't quite move them enough to clear her stance, what would her option be then?
Well, then we'd have a little bit of a difficult situation, Johnny, because if they're movable and you're trying to give the player complete relief, we check the cables before the competition to make sure that they're very movable and that there's give in those cables.
And she puts her ball back, and sometimes it's hard to put it back exactly where it was after you mark it because it's so slippery after the cables are gone. So you have a situation there. If it won't go back exactly where it was, where you mark it, then you have a little different situation again, right?
Well, that too is covered under the rules. If you can't, when you replace the ball, if it can't stay at rest at the spot where it's supposed to be replaced, you replace it at the nearest possible spot.
Well, that is her caddy coach, Kurt Lucas, working with her. They're still talking about the rule, but I can tell you off Pine Straw, living here in this area, she sure doesn't want to move her feet too much.
And you got to be real careful not grounding your club. If you push down on the back of that pine straw, these long needled pines, which are sort of unique to Pinehurst area, you know, it might, when you put it down, it might influence something 4 or 5 inches away. So you got to be really careful not to even pull any out, even though you don't think it's too close to the ball.
Johnny, also the tendency is you want to sort of dig your feet in a little bit to get a, you know, a firmer stance, and you might move some pine needles around doing that as well.
Let's go back to 14 while she's looking the shot over.
Roger? Annika has 171 yards to the hole. John got a comfortable 5-iron. She has 157 to the front. So a 5-iron should fly up about 8 to 10 yards in the green and keep her underneath the hole.
Just fairways and greens now, Annika.
And she's must hit this ball a little bit. It's going right toward that bunker.
She bogeyed the last. So,
and it's where she made double bogey yesterday. She went over the green and 3-putted for double.
Well, back at 15 now, Chris Shetter. I think she's talking about moving a gallery-controlled stake.
There's some stakes up ahead that are right in her line that she needs to have down. She has to hit a punch shot underneath pine trees, and she would almost have a perfectly clear shot except for one branch that is hooking down. It's almost directly in her line, so she'll have to be careful to avoid that particular branch.
Good thing about pine needles, you can work the ball. You can hit little slices and hooks. I grew up at Olympic Club in San Francisco, and this is a typical recovery shot. I learned to hit all kinds of shots out of there, and you can play out of it if you know what you're doing. She's just thrilled that she's not out of bounds. She's just a couple inches from OB.
She's 152 yards to the front of the green.
She has a cut swing, so she could play this shot.
Oh, it looks good.
It gets a good hard bounce, and it did. That's a very nice shot by Chris Shetter. 3 under for today's round, 1 under for the championship.
Let's see how she plays this right there. She'll just pick it right out of there, hit that ball first. Boy, you can see the power of that golf swing.
Well, a very nice shot, and she did escape a little disaster by not being out of bounds. And let's go back to 14.
Brandy Burton in the fairway, her second.
Well, nice shot again, Brandy. Ah!
Left it out to the right, but safely on. Sorenstam is bunkered at 14. And another look at this approach, Johnny.
Well, she pushed it on the last hole, and then she's pushed it on this hole. Let's take a look at what she does here. See, she comes up ahead of it again. Starts lifting that chin so early. You know, it's a wonder she can even hit the ball if you were teaching that, but she has it so grooved. We're going to take another little look at this overhead. Watch this head action. Watch the top of her head to see if it comes up and out of it. You see, that's just, you got to have amazing timing to be able to control that, but obviously she does.
We see a similar move on the PGA Tour from David Duval.
But at least David stays a little more level with it. You know, his chin moves, but his head doesn't come up quite so early. And thing is, when you go, you know, she obviously has handled the pressure perfectly, but it's the kind of thing that you can see the lie in the bunker. But she doesn't want to start making bogeys, believe it or not. You know, even when you got a big lead, and I in my career had quite a few big leads, you don't want to lose any of your lead because you think, oh my gosh, you know, what's happening? So she wants to stop this thing and get back to making pars. She knows the value of a par.
Well, the shades are back on as she steps into the sand for her third at 14. Double bogey yesterday, really the only hiccup
Roger, any problem with the backswing or anything else?
I don't think so, John, but the ball is a little bit above her feet, which really should kind of help her get a kind of a tumbler up there. She did get it heavy, though.
Well, her last couple of bunker shots have gone long, and I guarantee you that went through her mind. Don't hit it like I did the last 2 times I was in a bunker.
So a long par attempt left for Sorenstam at 14, ahead to 15.
And Chris Cheddar with her 3rd shot at the par 4 15th.
Little 35-yard pitch shot. Oh, she just gave it a little too much.
Yeah. Hadn't had much practice doing that today. She's really played very well. 3 under for the round, and let's go forward to 18.
Lisa Lott Neumann for birdie.
Very fortunate her ball didn't run off the green.
So the champion back in '88. Again, this 4th round at +3. And with this par on 18.
Yeah, good work.
A final round, even par 70. And back to 14, Burton for birdie. So that will produce a par for Burton.
She's even par, which is really a great total, 280. You need to know this is a par 70 course, so it's hard to get very many under par because you got so many par 4s. You got 12 par 4s.
So another test here of the champion's heart. Sorenstam, who doubled 14 yesterday, has this lengthy par putt left. Roger?
Well, almost back up the fall line here. It will move a little bit to her left, but not a lot. It would be easy to overread this putt and miss it high as Brandy did. The green's just not quite as sloped on this left side as it is on the right side where the pin was, or the hole was cut yesterday.
I would think that she might want to get away from her philosophy of knocking it 4 feet by and just let it trickle in the front edge or be short and just get out of here with a bogey. Three putted this hole yesterday for a double bogey. Uh-oh, same length as yesterday.
So she'll give another shot back at 14. And now at 18, Katrin Nielsmark, another Swede for par. Never hit it. Bogey's 18, but still a fine final round of 69 for the Swede in her 2nd year playing in the United States. 68 yesterday, back to 14. Bogey attempt.
Yeah, nothing really here, just left center.
No double at 14 this time, but another bogey for Sorenstam. So bogey at 13, bogey at 14, and the lead is trimmed to 5. To the 18th tee, Laura Davies with an iron, 418 yards.
She can hit this iron if she hits it 240 to 50 yards. Looked like it came off a little low.
Yeah, that was just a low scalding 2-iron, but she got a good lie sitting up in a little brown spot.
Well, back at 15, Chris Cheddar to stay 1 under and then a tie for 2nd. This ball will break to her right. Gonna break, yep.
Whoa.
Here it comes.
Oh.
How about that 4? Holy smokes. Woo. Those are the things you got to do, though, in opens. When you hit a bad shot, got to have that putter help you out a little bit. What a 4, John.
That could have easily been a 3-shot swing. That ball could have gone out of bounds on the tee shot and then maybe made bogey on this tough hole. So wonderful stuff there for her.
Yeah, sure. It's just terrific. Today, the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 is providing these scenic shots of Pine Needles Golf Course. The MetLife Blimp contains 70,000 cubic feet of helium and measures over 130 feet in length. Old Snoopy on a nice Carolina blue day. Meanwhile, back in the fairway at 15 after a little wait, Jane Geddes. This is her 2nd shot. Geddes and Cheddar tied for 2nd at the moment.
No.
Geddes 1 under. Yeah, sounded a little heavy. Well, that's because the ball's above her feet. You got to be aware of that. As we look back from the green at 16, the par 3, 167 yards. Flag today just 18 feet from the right fringe and some 12 yards from the front edge. Very tough to shoot at this flag because of the bunker over to the right.
Yep.
Just a 6-iron.
Only 155 yards to the front. She'll just try to hit this 160. Let it release on back to the hole.
She's only won once on tour, but last year had her best year by far with 7 top 10 finishes.
Dave, the last few shots she's gotten so fast with her shoulder action at the top of the backswing that it's just spun out real quick. She didn't do what she did there, where everything's synchronized, and that she's hitting that little, you know, that little to the right shot because it's just too quick. We'll see if she can slow it down.
Well, that par may have helped her slow it down a little bit.
Saw her take a couple of big, deep breaths on the 14th tee, so I'm sure she's just trying to calm herself. This will definitely be her best finish at an Open ever. Last year she finished tied for 13th, and she's certainly going to better that. Looks like a pretty good shot.
And that is a very good shot. Good solid 6-iron into the middle of the green. While back at 15 tee, the leader, Sorenstam.
Well, it was just delayed slightly because of Gowrie crossing the fairway well up ahead. Brandy Burton has already driven the ball on the left side of the fairway in good shape.
And that was Annika's caddy, Colin Cam from England.
Right in the middle.
Gets that slope where it works the ball down toward the left side, so a perfect position to shoot into this as we go forward to 18.
From the rough, second shot of Laura Davies after you shot the iron shot off the tee.
And that's some power, folks. See if it'll stop. Look at this. Slow down ball. It's just amazing.
Whole location on 18 today, Johnny. You were talking about it earlier.
Anything past the hole is going to run off that green like that. That was a good shot, too.
15.
Getty's third shot. Better slow down just a little. All right. It's okay. So, 15th hole, Annika Sorenstam with a 5-stroke lead over Cheddar and Geddes. Davies, Bradley, and Burton all even.
To 15.
And Jane Geddes working on this 4 or 5 footer to stay 1 under for the day, and tied for second with Chris Cheddar, who's playing just ahead at 16. Both of them 1 under for the championship. 5 shots behind the leader, who's waiting back in the fairway at 15.
Dave, it's amazing with her 9 3-putts. The first, actually 4 days of the championship now, being this the 4th day, where she'd be right in contention. I mean, she could be, within a leading or 1 shot back easily.
All right, this ball breaks to her right, and it started right. She missed it from the go. Well, let's go to 18.
Laura Davies, third from behind the green at 18.
That one wasn't her normal deft touch. She's going well.
Well, Laura said this was a golf course, Johnny, that you couldn't be aggressive on, unfortunately, that you just have to lay back, hit the middle of the greens. And I really think that's why you're not seeing the big push at Annika right now. It's a very difficult golf course.
Well, we have a tremendous golf tournament going on. If Annika would have stayed in Sweden, but
back to 16.
And Chris Cheddar now in second all by herself, which she doesn't know yet. Go ahead.
This is a 20-footer, slightly downhill, and it will break 2 inches to her right. Her caddy Kirk always lines her up. They discuss the point they want to roll the ball over, and then he steps aside.
perfect, making everything.
Perfect. Well, you never know. I mean, we've seen some strange things happen, and something very strange happened this year, April, at the Masters. That'd be 4 under for her round today. Back in the fairway.
Well, if she were to make bogey here, it would cut the lead to just a few shots.
Going right at it.
Oh, there goes a birdie.
Might increase the lead. Huh? The way that was looking, what a shot. Roger, you a little impressed by the way this young woman plays?
I thought she made it.
Well, it looked good from up here. I'll tell you, she's really a thoroughbred to come out with the lead and just increase it. Now Burton shot. What she got, Roger?
She's got 147 to the hole. It's an 8-iron. Great angle from this left edge of the fairway.
That's good.
Got to get up.
Well, with that 8-iron and getting more spin, it's just not going to react like Sorensen did. But at any rate,
I got to believe Annika was playing a little left to that flag and just pushed it a titch by accident. That's a tough pin.
Laura Davies at 18 for par. Not to be. Still a final round 69 for Laura Davies, who already has a major championship under her belt in 96, and this will be Davies' best Open finish since her win back in 87. As Annika Sorenstam marches to the 15th green, the lead is only 4. We'll be right back.
Brandy Burton for a birdie at 15. All the work left. Right about there. If she just hit it, doggone. She had it tracking. While on the hole ahead, at tee at 16, Pat Bradley having a very fine tournament. 1 under for today, even. You could hear her say sit. She knew she'd hit it pretty flush. Probably trying to cut that in and just caught it solid.
Ooh, JD, I'm getting pumped here.
Said she's getting pumped.
Cheddar's been pumped. She's birdied 16 to get to 2 under at second all by herself.
So hit it right over that bunker, or hit her just right with a draw. I think she's done it.
And she's long, too.
Slow down, ball.
Wow.
It's sitting up, though.
Back to 16.
The par 3, Jane Geddes dropping a shot at the 16th. Even par. Just the way she started the day.
Cut a little bit.
Oh, that's a good shot. Just didn't stop, but a very nice shot by Jane Geddes. She doesn't know from where she is just how far that she just knows it's past.
Well, next weekend, NBC Sports continues its coverage of the French Open presented by Perrier. #1 seed Pete Sampras hopes to add the French Open trophy to his growing collection, the only Grand Slam title, in fact, that has eluded him. It's Grand Slam tennis on NBC. The French Open presented by Perrier. And back to 15 we go.
Back at 15, this for a birdie to increase her lead. If she should make it, this would be 5. The ball will work to her right, just a little outside the left. Dead center. Boy, this is really a performance. This is absolutely wonderful. You can't play golf better than this young lady has played today. Well, just ahead now, you look at the updated leaderboard. This is Bradley, tied for 3rd. All those at even, you see. This from about 60 feet. Should move a little left there. Oh, she hit it a little too firm. Oh, Pat, you left yourself one you don't want there. Well, call on all your experience in times like this. Of course, at this point, if they see that Sorenstam has birdied 15, they kind of have to feel like, well, they're out of it at this point. The only one with any kind of a chance is Cheddar. And that is slim indeed. Geddes now. Could get into third all by herself if she could hold this.
Dave, I just think the players, nobody put any pressure on her early, and that's exactly what they had to do. And especially somebody like Geddes, who likes to work the ball left to right. Anytime the pin was tucked on the right, she couldn't get the ball close to the hole.
Well, back on the tee, leader, defending champion, going to join 5 others. Won this tournament 2 years running. Meanwhile, Jane Geddes, this to move into third place on her own. What do you think this putt's going to do, Donna?
I think it's straight.
She hit it? Did she hit it? Well, it was working out to the left. So, with that par, Jane Geddes, an Open champion in her own right, will remain at even par, and even par for her round today. It's made 2 birdies, 2 bogeys. This for a par 3. And well done.
From the rough, second shot for Cheddar.
Oh, don't go there.
Squirting right. Squirt. See if that stays in bounds.
Where'd it go?
They're looking way left. That might be out of there.
There it is, just near the cables, this side of the television cable. So she's flirted with the cables again here at 17, which has played the toughest hole today.
And that ball just squirted right off the club face.
16.
And Pat Bradley with this 6 or 7 footer to stay at 1 under for the day and even for the championship. And in a tie with Geddes, with whom she's playing, and Brandy Burton, who's back waiting on the tee.
She won an awful lot of those golf tournaments with this length putt.
Well, that's so true. Plus, being the experienced player she is, you know that she watched it go by the hole. So she knows what it should do when coming back. Did you hit it? You know, you could make a living saying that people knock it 6 or 7 feet by the hole, they're going to leave that comeback putt short. I guarantee you that's too bad, Pat. But really caused by the iron shot, which was maybe either too much club or she just hit it too solid. So, back at the tee now, Sorenstam. Roger Maltby with them all day. Roger, what's the mood there?
Well, it's very, very quiet. Annika has not gotten used to the idea that we're convinced that this is over for sure. She is still in the work mode.
Still working on that first move away from the ball to make it go back straight.
Got a 6-iron here, which is just about right for her to carry to the front edge. Hits at about 155 in the air with the 6-iron. Got it going at the hole if it gets up. Oh, took a big bounce. Oh.
Was a beauty.
Well, she pulled the one on the last hole, went around the left there, and then she decided to take a little better aim. I mean, this is a remarkable performance. Oh, she didn't even know it hit it. Look at this. There you go.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh.
That's fun stuff.
I mean, really, John, you mentioned about after the 2 iron shots that she played at 13 and 14, which were both to the right, and both these flags, 15 and 16 on the right, very dangerous positions, and she nails both shots.
She sure did.
All right, Brandy Burton. Tied for third, Jane Geddes. 1 over for today. What does she have, Ron?
Also a 6-iron. Just right of the flag.
Oh, beautiful shot. Looked like a little played shot. You think she hit that full or just a nice 6?
I think it was just a nice 6.
Yeah. And So let's, while we have a chance, take another look at Sorenstam's reaction to that shot. Huh? What? Hit the flag. Must be my day. Huh? Second U.S. Open in a row. Just hang on. 5-stroke lead with 3 holes left.
From the Pine Needles at 17, third shot for Cheddar.
Tough shot to pick it out of there. Sounded good. Another miraculous par. Oh my word.
Well, she had the Pine Needle save at 15 and working on another at 17 to 16.
Brandy Burton for a birdie. She gets back to even par for the day and 1 under for the championship and moves into third place. Solo third. 1 stroke ahead of Jane Geddes. Only 2 players beginning the round today. Sorenstam and Burton had played the first 54 holes par or better.
Pretty good aggregate score they might have here, Dave.
Yeah. Burton shot 70, 70, 69, and with 2 pars will shoot 70 again. I thought anyone that would break 280 here would win, John, but I mean, this lady has shattered 280. And it looks like.
This has got a chance to go -8.
Cheddar for par at 17 and another save to stay in second place. Just to go 8 under. Boy, she's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. After the 2 bogeys at 13 and 14, comes right back. Birdies 15 and 16. 2 pars, 272. She'll shatter that 277 record.
And the all-time under par mark is Pat Bradley in 1981. She was -9, but that was on a par 72 course. So she's way below that, but not below the amount under par.
17, Pat Bradley. Second shot to the par 4.
Pat 194 with a 4-wood. It's very surprising. It seems like it's an awful lot of club.
Nice little punch swing. A lot of rhythm in that swing. I love that swing. That's a good shot.
On the green.
This golf course, you have to wait until it stops because you think you're on and then you go, ooh, went over the green.
Now Geddes.
186 with a 4-iron.
Hold it on a little bit. Kick left.
All right. Shot.
Very nice.
To the 17th tee. Toughest hole today, par 4, 424 yards. Annika Sorenstam.
It's been playing 4.494, second hardest hole of the course. You can see this hole. It narrows down where the gallery is now, and you got to fit it right into this area right here. And it's not that easy. You got OB left and right, trees. You got to hit it just over that bunker, or at least draw it around it, one or the other.
Well, she's made a choice, or a change in her choice of clubs from this tee. Yesterday she had drivers on and drove it way up in that neck, but she's gone to a 3-wood today, which I think is a better play.
Well, when you got this kind of lead, there's no use trying to do anything dumb, that's for sure. Setting up right down the right side for that bunker. Little right, Roger?
Going up the right side. Needs to get down, I would think, on that line.
It's fine. It hits soft.
Well, it was at 17 where Sorenstam dropped a dramatic long birdie to increase her lead to 3 yesterday, and right now it is 6.
Pretty good shape there, Annika.
It's a little bit of an awkward hole for Brandy. She likes to hit it left to right. Doesn't set up well for that.
Well, supposedly Dave Stockton's got her working it both directions.
She turned that a little bit right to left. That looks really good.
It's perfect. And we've given Dave Stockton an awful lot of credit, but Dr. Deborah Graham has really worked a lot with Annika, and I think it's been a big help also. I mean, with
Burton.
Brandy Burton.
Here's Cheddar at 18T, working on a round of 4 under.
Come on.
And will that stay in the fairway? Ooh, yes.
Little lip in.
Well, after another birdie at 16, the lead has been hiked up back to 6. Sorenstam. 2 holes left for back-to-back Open titles.
The U.S. Women's Open is brought to you by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of 1996 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles. By Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. By Microsoft, where do you want to go today? And by TaylorMade Golf. Find your game with the Burner Bubble Metal Woods and new Burner Bubble Irons.
What hole is that? Well, today the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 cruising the skies above Southern Pines, North Carolina, providing coverage of this 51st U.S. Women's Open Championship. The Blimp will travel over 60,000 miles, covering news specials and sporting events. This sporting event has been all Annika Sorenstam, but Jane Geddes just ahead on the green of Sorenstam.
Jane's 20-footer should move just a tad to her left. She took a hard look at the leaderboard and knows that second and third place is worth an awful lot of money.
Just does not break towards the front of the green from there. Pretty straight. Anytime you par the 17th hole, you're pretty happy. Let's go over to 18.
Second shot of Tammy Green.
72 yards. That was a 7-iron, this hole playing a good 1 club to 1.5 clubs less.
She was hovering around par until a double at 13 and a bogey at 14 pushed her back to +3.
And that's a good shot here at 18. If you go 10 feet right of the pin at 18, it'll go into the bunker. And if you go about 3 feet long, pin high, about 15 feet left of the hole, it'll go right off the green and down there where Lord Davies was. So very careful here. You got to keep it short of the hole.
Chris is quite a fearless player, but I'm sure at this point she is just looking at that fat part in the front part of the green.
Are you saying she didn't have much fun the last couple holes making those pars?
Oh, she chips for dollars all the time with her friend Cindy Rarick on tour, and that is why she's developed such a good short game under pressure. This is an 8-iron from 160 yards. Looks good if it's enough.
Beautiful shot underneath the hole for Cheddar.
She's happy with that.
Back at 17. Let's take a look at the bag of Sorenstam, Marlene. Interesting.
It is interesting. A 9 wood you'll see at 180. It kind of replaces her 4-iron. The 7 wood, obviously a 3-iron, but you can grip up and down and move that yardage around.
Well, this is a 5 wood from 216. Got it going right at the hole. Just got a little kick left, but that's very well played. This is amazing. She's hit 51 of the 55 fairways so far.
Misses that green in vintage Donald Ross style.
Well, she's just, when she's had a few problems, especially yesterday at 14 when she made the double, that great finish she put on it was the key, I thought. And then, of course, the eagle today, number 10, was a big one. That's Chris Cheddar, of course.
A lot of players have made a run at Annika Sorenstam today, but the most serious one made by that woman, Chris Cheddar.
Great round today, huh? Par would be a 66.
I tell you, finishing second in the Open is quite an honor, and she finished 9th earlier this year at the Nabisco Dinosaur, and it really shows the level that Chris has gotten to this year, finishing now in the top 10 at 2 majors.
Back at 17, second shot for Burton.
175 yards for the hole. This is 6-iron. Going a little bit right of the flag. Hit soft on her. A little unlucky, really.
Let's not forget, Burton is chasing Chris Cheddar for second place. Sorenstam in command with a 6-shot lead as she plays 17. Chris Cheddar for birdie at 18, a chance for the low round of the championship.
Did not get it outside the right edge.
But still with that par putt, that would give her a 66. Annika Sorenstam had a 67 in the second round Friday. Pat Bradley had a 67 yesterday. So Cheddar with her eyes on the round of the championship. Back at 17, Sorenstam from behind the green. Roger?
Got a pretty good lie, really, and lots of green to work with. This is a little downhill from there, and we'll move a little bit from her left to right. Not an overly tough pitch shot here.
Come on.
Well played. No weaknesses.
Continuing a record pace. As you look at her parents, that is Tom, who flew in from Stockholm last week and really learned about Annika's championship earned at the Broadmoor yesterday while cruising the internet. Talked to him yesterday, and he said, I want to witness one in person. He only travels to the United States a couple times a year and picked a good week to do it.
I'll say. Roger?
Yeah, this will move from Brandy's right to left all the way. Especially as it slows up, it'll turn a little bit more. Make this to get into a tie with Chris Cheddar for second. Gotta get up, gotta get up. Right on line.
Brandy Burton still looking for her first win in 3 years, but I think she's gained some valuable experience out of this major championship this week, realizing that she still has a fire for the game.
Well, there aren't many times you can break par in an Open Championship and really not have an opportunity to win. That's pretty rare.
Well, Sorenstam for par at 17, for par at 18, Chris Cheddar.
Little 3-footer, not much break to this putt at all.
Cheddar has the round of the championship, a 66 at 18. Sorenstam has another par at 17. 1 hole left.
Well, that was an exciting round by Chris Cheddar, I'll tell you. Those 2 pars she made from the pine needles was something.
The leaderboard with 1 hole left for Sorenstam. She will cruise to her second straight U.S. Women's Open title. Chris Cheddar at 2 under. Brandy Burton with a chance to try and tie her for second. But now Bradley coming to the home hole.
Hitting off a pretty good downslope. Don't want to go long.
175 yards, Johnny, with a 5-iron.
That's a good one. Very good.
Well, Pat Bradley also had an unexpected treat yesterday. Her brother Chris decided after he saw her sink a birdie putt on 16, hopped in a car with a buddy and made a 17-hour drive from Boston to get here.
Well, if she can just make that putt and finish the championship 280, that's a great total.
Now Jane Geddes from the rough.
She ripped it off this tee down the left side in the rough, unfortunately. But ball's sitting nicely. 138 yards with a 9-iron. Only needs to carry it about 125 onto the green.
Seen an awful lot of good golf this week. Very impressive.
Well, the USGA really set up this course very fairly. It was a tough test of golf. The golf course stood up, obviously, but the players felt it was not tricked up. It was very fair, and they loved it.
Well, the fairways were quite ample. They're 33 to 35-yard fairways, and that's, I think, one reason why the scoring has been as good, besides the fact that there's been great play.
On pace to shatter the lowest 72-hole scores. If she pars 18, she will record a 272 and shatter the lowest previous, set by Neumann in 88, Sheehan in 94.
Well, like I said, it's been a tremendous tournament. If Annika wasn't there at 8 under, you would have really had a dogfight going on.
There's an Open champion back in 86. And a Hall of Famer, Pat Bradley, the only player to have won all 4 of the modern LPGA majors, a half-dozen major championships. Sorenstam off the tee behind her
with a wonderful whack.
Perfect, right in the center of the fairway.
Man, that was hit solidly.
52 out of 56, Johnny. Is that pretty good?
That's pretty good if you're chipping.
Annika has a chance to tie Pat Bradley, by the way, with the lowest score to par. Bradley at 9 under back in 81.
Going down the left, if it'll clear the rough.
It gotten the light cut. It's okay. Intermediate rough.
Well, Annika Sorenstam arrived here at Pine Needles with all the fanfare that a U.S. Open champion would have. Up to the green at 18. Jane Geddes to play first. Somewhat the story of her week, the putter blade.
It's a heck of a performance, though. Even par on this track is golfing your ball, and I know she missed a lot of putts, Donna was saying, but obviously she made her share too. She just could have eliminated some of the little misses and kept the good ones that she had. She'd have had a shot at winning this thing.
Now Pat Bradley, tied for 3rd in the U.S. Open last year. Remember, she shot that 79 in the first round at the Broadmoor before coming back with a 71, a 70, a 68.
Donna, you right there?
Yes, sir, I am. She's putting back uphill. And, you know, watching Pat today is vintage Pat. Her consistency and putting the ball in the right place at the right time. I think if she had one more round, she could have really taken a run.
Chance to get even par in 4th place.
Oh boy.
What a way to end it.
That's fun to make a birdie on the last hole.
69 for Pat Bradley to end another Open championship.
Pretty nice work on the weekend there, 67-69.
We mentioned early that of her 31 victories, 28 were in come-from-behind fashion in the final round. She loves to charge on the weekend.
Even a little misty-eyed there. I think that was pretty exciting for her.
Again, I think in all her years, she has never, ever lost her putting stroke. She has been such a wonderful putter. Big putt for Jane here.
Straight uphill, nothing to it.
Good solid finish for yet another Open champion back in '86.
Very consistent scoring, even par. Those two are tied, even par 280.
By the way, Pat Bradley in 581 LPGA tournaments in her 22+ seasons and finished at the top 10. Once again, now 301 times. Now to the fairway. Brandy Burton to play first, the final twosome.
Roger. Just in the first cut of the left rough downhill, 178 to the hole. Just over 152 to the front. I think she's just going to try to land a 7-iron on the front of this green. Let it release back.
Want to keep it under the hole, short of the hole.
Got it going a little bit right, though. Hang on.
It sounded a little heavy, Roger.
Yeah, didn't get it real solid, John. Annika now 171. Seven-iron here.
Solid, Roger?
Solid. Left of the hole toward the center of the green. Needs to get down.
Better
Bite.
stop. That's not going to stop. It's like a vacuum down there. That's amazing. That ball just kept trickling.
We'll be right back for the championship finish of Annika Sorenstam in a moment. This a moment ago. Not too many people get to make this walk at age 24. Made it for the first time last year. Didn't know she was at the Open champion. Now at age 25. You have to figure she knows it now. Now live, Brandy Burton's third.
That better slow down.
That was to get into a tie for second with Chris Cheddar at 2 under. So a relieved Chris Cheddar is with us. She will nail down second place. The round of the championship, a 66, and I guess they call this place Pine Needles, appropriate for your round today. You were in that stuff a number of times.
I was. I tell you what, when you hit it in the rough, it's hard to get it out, and I proved that today.
That's so exciting to get so much out of your round coming in. You just saved almost every stroke you could. That's really fun.
Now Annika's third from behind the green.
What do you think of this total Annika's shooting?
Wow. I mean, she's a great player. There's no question.
Her father Tom, her mother Gunilla, her aunt also made the trip. Did you think of a number before you headed out today for the final round, or no?
No, but I knew that we were going to need some help from Annika in order for anyone else to have a chance, and I knew chances where she was going to come out and shoot a good score today.
I know you're awfully close with Ben Hogan. You mentioned that you hoped he was watching. I bet he was.
I hope so.
Well, great performance, second place.
Thank you.
Now Brandy Burton for par. Be just the fourth bogey for Burton, who has spent the last 2 days playing alongside Sorenstam. Final round 71. Solid 4 rounds in this championship.
That's a costly little bogey right there, though, to her, and but a fine championship. Twice on the front, the green on 13 and 18. She doesn't get it up and in. And Annika doesn't have to worry about too much, just style points right now.
Father Tom looking on. That for a 66. Back-to-back championships for Annika Sorenstam.
8 under par, 272. a record that might not be broken by too many people in a long time.
Shatters the record by 5 shots. And this time, the parents get to witness it. Let's go down to Roger Maltby. Roger?
Thank you, Dan. Annika, what a great performance. The first bit of emotion we've seen from you. If there was one club that won this golf tournament, it had to be your driver.
It was. I was hitting a lot of fairways, and it's been a great week.
Back-to-back Open Championships. There aren't many people that can say that.
No, I'm fortunate. I had a wonderful time, and it's a dream come true again. It's unreal.
Well, enjoy the moment. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Back to you, Dan.
How sweet it is for Annika Sorenstam. Just the 5th player in the history of this great championship to win it back-to-back. Well, now the 6th.
Did you say Swede or sweet?
Both.
Well, I tell you what, she's the first foreigner to ever win the U.S. Open, being a lady for the 2nd time.
Well, she's getting pretty comfortable with that trophy back there in Sweden. She might try for a three-peat.
A look at the final leaderboard. Annika Sorenstam in championship fashion, charging with a 66, which matched Chris Cheddar's, but Annika had the big lead. This has been a great week for the U.S. Women's